Hey, what's up, y'all? This is RPG back again. Now, we're going to do something a little different today. We're going to talk about, uh, of all things, the WNBA, specifically Indiana Fever and Caleb Clark. Caleb Clark's team, Indiana Fever. Now, growing up, obviously, I watched the NBA, and I particularly remember the NBA on NBC. And there was one summer where they were advertising a women's league, and it was called WNBA. And, you know, fast forward nearly 30 years, and it's finally getting some attention. I haven't even played basketball. Sorry, comparing me. You could even put it comparing me next to the NBA. You can watch a movie and the WNBA game side to side, and you can notice the difference right away. Men are, let's just face it. The WNBA can have its moments. It can still be pretty decent basketball to watch, but comparing it, it's pretty hard to watch. Like I watched the NBA playoff game, and then I watched a WNBA game. And the WNBA game is pretty hard. But anyway, a lot of attention is obviously got on Caleb Clark's number one pick this past draft. She's the all-time NCAA scoring leader, and that includes men and women. Asterisk to me because when Pete Maravich did get the record, I don't think there was a three-point line, but that's neither here nor there because look how many guys have come out since him that have yet to get the record with the three-point line there. So props to her for getting it. But anyway, the Fever have been the worst team for the past few seasons. That's why they were able to get the number one pick last year in the Boston. Pick this year with her. So there are a lot of things that this team needs to figure out. It used to. It's a process. Anybody who knows from watching sports, yeah, it's a process. So I should know because I'm a Giants fan, and they're going through New York Giants fan, New York Football Giants, go Big Blue. They're obviously been going through a process for over a decade. Yeah, sometimes, unfortunately, it takes longer than we'd like. But I'd give the Fever a D plus so far as the season's gone. I think they played 11 games. We're here to talk about basketball today because there's a lot of peripheral shit going on, and the media is not really talking about the team and basketball itself right now. They're talking about other stupid shit that honestly I could give a fuck about. Anyway, we're here to talk about basketball, and we're here to talk about like some of the sets that run. Now, despite at first my judgment of Coach Sides, Christy Sides, the head coach of Fever, before been like, does she really have a grasp of what she's doing here? She actually kind of does. Her offensive sets should, if executed correctly, should get them buckets. But there's a problem in that, you know, the past couple of seasons, they're actually one of the worst teams as far as hitting open shots. Now that's a player problem, right? It begs the question: did you do your work in the off season to get better at ball? You know, and I hear a lot of these women, they play overseas, so when you come to training camp ready to go, you want to be in shape and you want to have worked on your game enough so that you'll be effective. The desire when winning, especially at the professional level, is what you're doing in the off season. Now, I grew up, and it was during Jordan's time, and you could tell he put in the work in the off season. year. His desire was to win, win, win. And you could tell he put himself and his teammates. If you watch that documentary about the Bulls, the the award-winning one, I don't know why the name escapes. I think it's Last Dance. Yeah, Last Dance. You tell he put in the work, and he was a bit of an asshole. I watched another documentary about one of the better men's collegiate players of all time, Christian Laettner, and he was a bit of a dickhead too. It was all to get the best out of your teammates and be a better team than than you could be, so you could win games. Who's going to come out as a leader for the Fever remains to be seen. It may not actually be. I'm thinking it should be her because she seems like she'd be the most vocal. I mean, I guess sometimes to get the best out of your team is to be an asshole. But are you putting, as an individual, are you putting in the work off season? Nothing on. I'm not going to really put any onus on Clark right now because she was in the NCAA tournament this past off season. So if I were to be a little bit exhausted, and they have a 4-day stretch now, they're not playing any games, so you want to recover. But as far as the vets go, second-year player, especially Boston, she was the #1 pick last season. You should be coming in better shape. This chick is 6'5", 220. As a woman, I don't necessarily think that's really in great shape. And you already kind of seem like you're not really that athletically gifted. And in the offseason, before even, because I mean, pretty much knew they were going to take Clark #1. People were saying, "Oh, I can't wait for her to hook up with the Boston. Should be great stuff there." That's all fine and dandy, but if Aaliyah doesn't do her work in the off season, then you expect anything. Apparently, she was being an analyst in the offseason too. I don't know how much she worked in the game, but you come to training camp out of shape, that's kind of a problem. And there needs to be some type of standard as far as being professional. Like, you get paid to do this. You definitely want to come to training camp in shape. So that also reflects on your desire to get better and to want to win. So anyway, we're going to read part of this. We're going to read this article this person did as far as their offense and their offensive sets. Honestly, this person knows more about the game of basketball than I do. As far as the X's and O's, I mean, all I have to go off is playing video games and learning some of the fundamental of how basketball plays or ran. But I don't really know that much. So we're going to read some of it. Now, these are plays that I did watch because I've watched most of the Fever's games, and I kind of noticed that, yeah, they're running some type of basic motion set offense. I think when you're playing chess like this, you want to have options. And as you can see, these two plays are being repeated. There are some options, especially against the LA team, the Sparks here. You make a quick enough pass. The big, or Samuelson rolling down. Well, you have that option there. But yeah, obviously we want to have multiple options when you're running the set. The play is supposed to go to Clark here. Now, the problem that I have is that they're supposed to be running a screen here, but it just looks like they're just shading for a screen, which gives, I think, sometimes shading can work, but depends on your position. Now, both the screen depends on your position too. But if you notice, if you're just shading, that gives the defender time to recover. You want to give enough time so that Clark is open. She's not open on either of these. If you watch these plays running, that's her getting the ball there, that's her getting the ball here. You could see the defenders still pretty much on it. Now, these are just some of the plays that they run for Clark. I don't know how many set plays there for Clark. But from what I've watched during the games, the plays, they're not really running plays, and quite often I see, I mean, they are running plays for her, but quite often I see her just standing around on a lot of these sets, and it's like, okay, give her some time off, I guess, take a break. But I think it happens. And again, too, you want to be running plays for your second best player as well. And in Boston, get her sets post. Now, when I was coming up, the game has changed a lot since you know, but when you needed much needed offense, when I was a kid, what they used to do, much needed offense. You would, this is a typical set that you would see, but you would also give your big the ball in the post. I watched a lot of Laker games, and obviously at the time, Shaq was the big, you know, you'd give his ass the ball in the post. I wasn't, I mean, I still am a Knicks fan. I used to give Ewing the ball in the post. That was offense like that was relied upon when you were struggling as a team. You wanted to go to that set offense that was pretty much guaranteed to give you points. Now, a set offense that they should be running to give them points is kind of a pick and roll type set offense. They do have pick and roll, I think, down here. Let's see. I think it's some of these are pick and sets. Where is it? I think some of these are pick and roll sets. We don't want to do that. Don't do that. Yeah. Okay. So now, Fag Benley here is probably Caitlin Clark's best go-to. It's definitely not Boston. Her and Alyssa Smith are probably the two best as far as her utilizing the pick and roll. Now, when your offense is struggling, your offense has struggled at a lot of times. What you want to do is you want to pick and roll. That should be getting you easy baskets. You want to have somebody, because the greatest example all time of utilization of the pick and roll was obviously Stockton and John Stockton, probably back in the day. I think Stockton still is the number one assist man in season and the number one career assist leader all time. He could rely on Malone as far as rolling to the basket and the pick and pop. So, because Malone was a really good player as far as the mid range, that's what you want to have. If you're Clark, is, you know, you run the pick and roll, you can get open for three because Clark is, that's her offensive game is mostly 3-point shooting. So sometimes looking the hole too, giving fakes and stuff. But or like, you know, for driving the basket. But you want to have somebody that you can rely upon. Now, me, I'm a little harsh. I say if you're playing professional basketball, no matter your size, yeah, you get paid to do this. No matter your size, you should be damn near automatic from 0 to 14 feet. Meaning any one of these women should be just buckets from 0 to 14 feet most of the time. I'm not saying completely automatic, obviously, with some shots. Duh. But 0 to 14 feet. It's not here, but I've seen times where they have tried utilizing Boston pick and roll set with Clark. Boston will get the ball wide open, top of the key, not take the shot, run into the defense down low, and then she ends up not even getting fouled, but her shot gets. That tells me that you don't really, excuse me, you're not really confident in your shot if you're not taking it off rip. You're rolling in to get an easier shot, but think about it. You're not athletic enough to roll in so that you're quick enough to get the shot off before the defense recovers. Also, well, I mean, you want to roll like that. I understand that you can dunk the ball. That's an option. You can't dunk and you're not athletic or slow. Oh, you're not really athletic. You're not really athletic enough to roll to the basket. Fuck that. You're not really athletic enough to roll the basket. Athletic enough to roll the basket. You know, you're there before the defense can recover effectively. You're basically giving them a chance to recover. So it's kind of a problem. See that there? Now, look how wide open she is top. If she has any type, this is why I feel Boston, you came to training camp out of shape. Your offensive game isn't really that effective. Really, giving her the ball in the post is really the only thing I would honestly. Now, she has shown flashes. She's made a couple threes. But for the most part, it's like, yeah, I don't want to utilize her that much to pick and roll. In fact, Benley and Lissa Smith are better pick and roll, pick and pop players, I feel. So use Boston's spirit as far as what if that's the case, then Boston should be utilizing the offensive rebounding game. Look at that. She had the wide open shot at the top of the key there. Look at that. Shoot the shot, bro. Run into the defense. I mean, come on, yo. No. And the right there, take the shot at the foul line. She had the shot at the foul line. What are you doing? You're running into the defense. It's like, no, man, you can't. I wouldn't rely on her in the pick and roll so much as I would Benley, in fact, Benley and Lissa Smith. I'm probably going to cut this short and we can return to this topic another time. Because honestly, they should be getting more offensive production than they are. But yeah, we'll talk about their defense in the next video. But anyway, that's it for now. I'll leave it there. The Fever are fucking bad to you know, it's a process. You want to build a good team and you want to build a consistent team. Anyway, that's it for now. And I'll check it out. This is RPG, the kids sign.